it was a 21-day process that they dry the meat out with smoke and that kind of stuff.
So it'd be hard
But,
to.
you know, the salmon might start that thick and then it ends up being about like that. That's what my relatives, that's how my uncle smoked the fish. It was almost, like beef jerky.
Yeah, that's the best way my family.
And I've never seen anybody else do it, but that's the way they do it in Norway.
Is it?
Yeah.
So in Iceland, they dry it. It's not smoked.
Well,
They dry
same
it.
thing, because
Yeah, it gets it's much smaller, you're right.
whatever, that guy on TV, well, I think, what's that guy that has a program that
Big Steve's?
travels all over the country? Well, I just happened to watch a program from Iceland, and he was showing the drying the fish, but also the sheep, they butcher them, use every part of the sheep as well as they can, but that's the way they hang the meat up, and it hangs there for 9 months, and the salt air dries it right out. And he was, they carve it off in a real thin paper.
What do they call that in Norway?
What do they call
Fennel.
it? Yeah.
They talked about the fact these women who were the cooks on the early boats, being up until the late 80s, they talked about they didn't have any refrigeration, and so they would take whole carcasses, they said, and they just hang in the boat. And then, as a part of their cook's job, they also did deck work, all the early cooks did. So to say it was just a cook is completely ridiculous. They got paid more than a cook gets paid more than a deckhand. There's a reason for it. But at that time, they would have this meat just hanging up, and they'd go on the deck and just carve bits off, and then go down and use it in the meal. So the whole time they were out. So yeah,
There's these women that have, you said sometimes they have a baby while they're out at sea. What did they do then?
Oh, well, I only have one account of an actual birth at sea. But I found several accounts of them going into labor and desperately, in a storm or something, and desperately trying to get to shore as they're going into labor. The one of the woman who giving birth at sea, it's a hysterical story. She's with her husband, and she goes into labor, and she gives birth in the rowboat while they're out there. And it says, this is what the actual text says. It says, her husband, with no knife at hand, bit the umbilical cord with his worn-out teeth.
Maybe he was a snaggle too. I'll pass on that.
You say going to sea, what I observed there,
What, sorry?
my interpretation of them going to sea was one of a day or 2 or 3 day issue, not for a long length of time. You're not going to go out very long in that boat there and fill it up full of fish.
They couldn't go out. Early on, they wouldn't even take food with them. They thought they had a superstition against taking food. Later on,
Yeah.
they changed that and took boxes of food. They just drink cod liver before they live and do a prayer and go out. And, but it was only a day. But it took them a full day to go out, row up, because they had to row, and they could only get the fish fairly close to shore. So they'd go, that's why they'd follow it to different places for the migration, because they'd know when the fish had come close to shore, because they couldn't go out very far either.
That size boat, I fished one summer as a kid with my uncle, and we had a 40-foot gillnet boat out here in the Sound. And one evening we caught 500 fish. And the water line that was about like that, and I'm constantly, as a kid, about 13, on that bilge pump, getting that thing before we could get to shore. So that boat there, they couldn't handle that, even that amount of fish.
And they talk about, the other thing they talk about is they filling, and that is so dangerous because it's really low, and they're in Arctic seas. And so they're talking, that's where a lot of boats flipped, because they were full.
Yeah.
Or they also talk about somebody going to rescue. They see another boat tipping, and another boat goes to rescue them. And it always in the account is they threw out all their fish and everything in their boat, and then went, because otherwise they couldn't get the people in there, of course, because they would only take, they're small boats, they won't take
But
them.
that first video we had there, of the bigger ship, that one there would have smaller boats that were lit over the side to do the fishing. That bigger boat was.
The more modern one. The more
Yeah.
modern one.
Oh, the modern
The
one.
first
Yeah.
slide. Yeah.
The very first picture,
Oh, that's a modern boat, yeah, that's a.
yeah,
that's-
they
that's a pretty
they have
big
smaller
boat.
boats that fish and bring the fish to them now.
Well, those are nets, so they usually do the nets.
Yeah.
They pull out the nets on that and pull it, it's not, and that they have the smaller boats corral the net around, yeah, to circle around, the zodiac around. So, any other questions?
I'm curious about the markets for the fish, the changing markets. So presumably when Denmark was in charge, they came over and took all the
They
fish.
did, yes.
And then what other markets did they have?
Well, Iceland's cod is, somehow theirs is left, and theirs is remained, even though Nova Scotia's become completely depleted. So they sell it all over the world, basically. Bacalhau, the dried fish from Spain, from Portugal and Spain, that's mostly Icelandic. So so very valuable. They get lots of money for that. So they were selling it to Europe really early. So it's huge markets now, of course, it's international markets. So that was the big, after the 2008 collapse, when that's what, England and Holland were saying, all right, we invested all in there, and now we've lost all our money, so Iceland has to now pay us all back for it. Iceland said, nah. But they said, this is what you have to do, and they offered, they said you have to pay it back for an international loan, a very high interest rate. And they said, the way you'll pay it back is we will have your fish for the next 20 years. And Iceland said, we're not losing our independence again.
So what's the population of Iceland right now?
Right now it's 300, well, it's almost, I think it's like 325,000.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's about what it is now. Yeah.
We're talking,
A suburb of
we're
Seattle.
talking about
Percent larger than
some
what?
homes you count.
Yeah, it's not much.
Some homes you count.
But it's not very big. But they almost all live in Reykjavik anyway.
Is there,
80% live in Reykjavik, 82%.
is the geothermal, the power generation from Iceland, is that their main export?
And they don't export.
That's
it.
well,
Don't
they
export.
unfortunately do. That's a very political
You
question.
say it's a geothermal.
Well, it is a fantastic power source.
Yeah.
There's just a few places in Iceland doesn't have it, and everybody else, their electricity is almost free. And that's why they can have outdoor swimming pools, they swim all winter outside, they heat it and things like that. And people leave their windows open all winter too. Here.
Actually, I was just,
But it's in, a while ago, they started putting in aluminum smelters. Alcoa, companies like that. They're doing it, a penny on the dollar. Iceland is losing so much on this. It's a horrific deal they've done.